Are you Mistress Enneline of Winterthur?
Winterthur, Lyon, Vienna. It doesn't matter. What do you want?
I'm Henry. I was sent by Miller Kreyzl. We have a job offer for you. Listen, Enneline. The Chamberlain is looking for you, and...
Who's Enneline? She told me her name was Kvieta.
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist cookbook. A sand-coloured cover, embossed.
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
I've heard there are some interesting ideas in it. Every alchemist is in dogged pursuit of wisdom, especially those from Prague.
Perhaps you know more about that book than I do. Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nikvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nikvard's help, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
I'll have a talk with Nikvard and find out what the problem is.
I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha, the cook, Regina, the maid, and Hersh, the hand.
Well, if a nobleman's secret is worth so much, how about this? That'll buy you more than one book.
I suppose Lord Libak wouldn't mind. And do you have the exact amount?
Of course.
So many groschen. I promise I'll split it with Lord Libak when I see him, and I'll explain everything.
But now tell me, what's the medicine for?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libak had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Just say it. He shot himself.
It was in the privy down below the Crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libak is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off.
Greetings. Do you need something?
Do you know where I can find Nikvard? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nikvard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nikvard.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nikvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those 2 women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn.
He's always threatening to leave everything to the church if I don't go and see him. Aye. Once old folks start getting soft in the head.
Good day to you.
I'm looking for Nikvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Libak. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing, hmm?
What task?
Nick Libak, that is, entrusted me with a big task quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nikvard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
What are you blathering about?
Von Berghoff said there's a war on, right now. I told him, watch out for spies, Sir Otto. But fear not, I know how to sniff them out. You're a spy yourself, ain't you?
I'm not.
Ha! That's exactly what a spy would say. That's why you have to be vetted, to see if you're really on our side. The side that Nikvard's on, just so you know. We're all friends here. You can join us.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses. First a test.
Tell me what you want from me, then.
A sword.
Sword? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway.
Steal a sword? That sounds like something a spy would do.
Not a spy who wants to help von Berghoff's most loyal servant. By servant, I mean me. See, once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nikvard's task.
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
That's perfect. Lovely. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem all right.
What about Nikvard, then?
Nikvard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Berghoff. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle. And I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nikvard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
You must be Nikvard, eh? Poor wretch. Sand-coloured cover, embossed. That'll be the book Kreyzl wants, but it's quite ordinary, apart from being covered in shit.